So, if you're ready to break your broke money habits and end the chaos and get out of your money stress, then stick around because I'm going to be going over the habits and the tactics of the lower, middle, and wealth class and see where you may fall on the spectrum and learn how to gain power over your money today. Let's go. All right. Does this sound like you? Where I have a job, I have a car, I have a place to live, but I still have money stress. Money is tight by the end of the month. It's a mess. I have stress regarding my money. Man, you're in the right spot. So many people are in that place, and we're going to be going over some of the habits and tactics of what that is going to look like in the lower, the middle, and the wealth class and see where you fall on the spectrum. So why do we feel broke when we make money? Looking at some of these, you have that Sunday night dread where you're like, the week's about to begin and I got bills to pay and I don't know if I'm going to have enough money by the end of the week to get there. Or you may have the checkout chaos where you're paying for something, you're at the grocery and you're like, I hope this clears. I hope I have enough money on my credit card or my debit card in the bank account to pay for the groceries. Let's see if it makes it through. And that stress is still there all the time. Or you have the bank balance shuffle. One of my clients was doing this, and this was a major cause of her stress, where she would have to transfer money out of an account into the checking account to pay for things in the moment and hoping she had enough right then and there. There's a better way. So before getting into the broke habits, I want you to comment below, what is your top money stress you're dealing with? Is it just money mess and stress, things you don't know how to organize anything? It's just, I don't even know where I am. It's a hot mess. So put money mess and stress, comment that. Or are you trying to destroy debt? Are you working on just paying down? You have a little bit of control and you're like, I'm focused on debt, but I don't know. It feels like nothing is happening. Or are you just bad at budgeting? So bad budget, comment in there. That is a skill that can be taught and helps you organize things, which will help you get going on there. So comment those down below. Let me know what your top money stress is. And let's start a conversation. And by the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Patrick Clark. I've gone from broke to now building wealth. And probably the most important thing that you're wanting to know from me is that I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial master coach. Yeah, there's a money coach for you. It's like a personal trainer for your money habits. And speaking of that, I've also been a sports and fitness coach for over 25 plus years and working with different ranges of athletes and sports to help people achieve their goals, and also running a successful small business for over 20 years. I'm in the trenches still. I am just a little further down the road, but happy to help you guys learn how to adapt your money habits and gain power over your money. So we're talking money spectrum today, and we are going to be talking about the habits of what we call broke habits, average habits or middle class, and the wealth habits, and see where you fall on those spectrums here. So one of the biggest things that we need to understand is your income doesn't determine your wealth. Your habits do. And reading right here, winning with money is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. You only need a little bit of tactical knowledge to really change where you are financially, but it takes power over your habits. And that's what we're going to get into right now. So state number one here, the desperation cycle, the stress, your broke habits. We are going to work on those and talk about the top three right here. First of those is those payday loans and title loans. So those are the ultimate trap. A simple $20 fee disguises what's actually 4,000% interest rate that spirals out of control. You take those loans, you're thinking, oh, by the next paycheck, I can pay this loan off. Doesn't happen. The statistics don't show that. They're going to keep you broke in a cycle over and over again. Kind of similar to that is a rent to own and cash advances, where you're thinking, oh, if I just pay this off and I'm going to own it in a few months or 6 months, it has hidden fees all over the place and interest. So in addition to those hidden fees on rent to own and those cash advances, you're actually paying more over time. Yes, the convenience of I get it now. It seems this convenient, but it's not. It's actually trapping you into something that's going to make you pay way more longer and maybe not even be able to pay it off because of the situation of the habits that we're talking about right here. And number three is lottery tickets. What? I know it sounds fun. It's innocent on the surface. People are spending their paycheck that they don't have money to pay bills for on lottery tickets for this false hope that they're going to be the one winner that gets it all. And I know it's tempting when even on the news, they bring up, oh, the Mega Millions is at its highest peak it's been in however many months. You better get your ticket that day. There's that. I still had that urge. Oh, maybe there's a chance. Maybe we can get a piece of all that. But you know what? It's those habits that we need to control. And these are some of the top 3 things that are keeping people in this broke cycle. But it does start with one, knowing where you are. Can you take an honest look and see what's going on with your statements, with your credit card bills, with what you're paying on your car, your house payment, any other debts that you're paying on? Do you even know where you are? So that's where a money coach like myself can help you see where you are. You're going to know where you are before you can start making any changes. And we'll talk about some of those action steps here in a little bit. We want to know where we are first. But going over some stats real quick. And I believe, yes, we all need to take responsibility for where we are, but man, you aren't broken though. The system is rigged against you. It is a challenge in this broke cycle to break out of it. And that's where someone like me has knowledge and success to help you figure it out. The system is rigged. Look at some of these stats here. We are $1.2 trillion in credit card debt. Everyone thinks they're going to pay off their credit cards every month and, oh, I'm going to just pay it off. It doesn't work. Obviously, the numbers are right here. And then we also have car loans. Look at this, 1.58 trillion in American car loan debt. Let's say you're paying $700, which is around the average car payment, by the way. If that was gone and you had that extra $700 a month, you could actually organize and realize you were saving that money, what you could do with either paying off debt or not even having that, and then using that money toward investments and your future wealth building. And then paycheck to paycheck, this stat is shocking. It's over half of America is living paycheck to paycheck. We have got to break this cycle. Normal is broke. We don't want to be normal. We want to change that. That's what we're getting into today. So one of the cool things about being a money coach is that we are further down the road and can actually see things that where you're in it, it's hard to see. So just like coaching athletes, is that coaches can do things for you to help you get moving, get that first big boulder out of the way. And one of the things we need to do is know where we are. And what I'd like to send you is Why Am I Broke Solution Sampler. It gives you a little quick quiz of where you are and some samples of what action steps you can take. So click the link in the description or in the comments section and get your Why Am I Broke Solution Sampler for free today. All right, moving on to state number 2, or the average habits, the middle class habits, the comfort trap. Yeah, we've been there. Actually, there's some temptations here that I still struggle with. But again, temptations. We have knowledge now, so we're going to act differently. But middle class America lives here. It's the illusion of winning, even though you seem to be on this wheel of nothing's really getting any better. So jumping into number 1 right here is the new car leases and new car loans. So if you're paying top dollar for a new car, let's say you pay $50,000 for a car, it's going to depreciate the moment you drive off the lot. And your loan balance, let's say eventually you pay $60,000 toward that new car at the whole life of the loan, and then it's only worth $20,000 by the time that you're all done paying it off. That doesn't make sense. That is why we want to work on paying off your car as soon as possible and not having a car payment. Is that even in something you've heard before? Put in that comments below. Can you imagine not having a car payment? What are you paying for your car payment? But could you imagine that money being used for investments in growth stock mutual funds and looking for wealth building in your retirement? That's what we're looking for here. I can still remember writing that final check to pay off my car so long ago. And it was this weight. They talk about the weight being gone, and it's true. Trying to pay a little bit extra, paying a little bit extra. And as I got close to that finish and I could see it, I decided to just combine as much money as possible and just write the biggest check at that point that I had ever written to just end the car debt. And what a relief that was. And yeah, it took some work. But as I started the small habits and those action steps, really, it's the habits that we get into, but taking action on those and feeling better about it. And all of a sudden it got stronger and I trusted the process more and finally felt better about writing that larger check to just wipe that debt out. And I haven't had a car payment since. So it is worth it. Go for it. Jumping into number 2 is that buy now, pay later and HELOCs. So we'll start with the buy now, pay later, those rent to owns, which is what we talked about before. You're funding a lifestyle you can't cash flow. Really, it comes to, can you live below your means? And if not, that's what this is telling you. You still have those payments. And when you start adding up all the little payments you have, it's a big number. Get rid of those payments. You have that money to use for better purposes to help get you out of debt and move you toward your wealth building. And HELOC stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. where you have your home and let's say you have some equity in there and you want a basement remodel and it's going to cost $30,000 and you could borrow against your house. Well, that's just what they call secured asset, by the way, where if you don't pay that, they could take your house, is a very short version. Versus credit card debt is unsecured debt, where yes, there's negatives that can happen there if you aren't paying your credit card bill off every month and you're gaining interest and you can't pay it and eventually bankruptcy, all that stuff can go there. But losing your house over some remodel that you could have saved up for. So tying this into the basement story that we had an unfinished basement and we obviously wanted to fix it up and make it a lower level space. And there was a quick thought of, we're going to be here a long time. I was trying to justify it. Maybe we could just take out a little bit of money to have the process go faster. And again, that was a quick fleeting thought because that goes against our foundations and what we've agreed to do with our money. It doesn't make sense. So we took the longer road where we slowly just saved up, did things one at a time. We changed the water heater, got a new HVAC system, put the floors in, framed the wall, all that stuff. We did it in stages. And yeah, it took a little bit longer, but you know what? We don't have any debt. Feels great. So we stayed debt free on that and just paid for it at the speed of cash. And we were happy for it. And number 3 here on the comfort trap for the middle class and the average habits is that whole life insurance. If you watch anything with Ramsey, you want to know that term insurance is the cheapest and best way to go. They have videos all about whole life insurance and why it's such a bad idea, but it's a hybrid product that covers life insurance and it is best for you. And it's just a mess. So you can research that on your own. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that here. But term life insurance is the way to go. And everyone should have term life insurance if you have a life to cover. So if you're married or you have kids, term life insurance. Check it out. Ramsey Solution has a lot of links and information about that. So based on all the credit card debt we were talking about before, I had to bring this up. We have a credit card problem. It's delusion. So number 1 here, the bait, you swipe for those airline miles. It's tempting. I'm going to pay for this anyway. So I might as well get some points and travel. The trap. If you have an issue that comes up, you have a job loss or emergency hits, and then you can't pay that balance on that credit card, those points for airline miles doesn't matter. You're playing a game. It doesn't work. The reality is you're going to be hit with 22% interest. And then number 4, you go into the transfer and the broke consumers who can't pay their balances switch off and they get a new credit card and all for, I'm going to get new points and everything like that. And it's just the cycle goes and goes. The health always wins, as they talk about. Credit card companies know that you're going to play this game and they're going to win. It's not worth those few points. What are we? $1.2 trillion in outstanding credit card debt. So no, we're not paying off the balances every month. Here's the stats right there. And speaking of that, which this ties into your FICO score. And I love debt score. What are we doing? High credit score doesn't mean you're wealthy. It has nothing to do with your income, your net worth, or savings. It doesn't. It only proves one thing, that you can get debt. So I'm going to have a good score so I can buy something and go into debt for, which will then raise my debt score, my FICO score, so I can then hustle to pay that off possibly and then go get more debt. It looks at your payment history, how consistently you pay the bank, and then how much of your life is leveraged with debt. So that's your credit score, your FICO score. It just lures you deeper and deeper into debt. So the bigger point here is financial success is what you have in the bank, not what you owe the bank. All right, so we talked about all these negative habits and all these problems. Well, what should we do? Well, here's what we are going to do, how to gain power over your money. And that's what, again, having a money coach can help you realize what these habits are and help you get moving in the right direction here. So you're earning interest on your high yield savings account. You have your Roth IRA, you have a 401k, you have good stock mutual funds. You don't have any debt. You have an emergency fund filled up. You are letting someone else take the depreciation, buying an older car. Yep, I have a 10-year-old car I drive. My wife does, 9 years? So we have a fund actually that we're building up for. We're knowing down the road, we're going to have to get a newer car to us. And we're going to buy it at least 2 to 3 years old, if not older, depending on the situation. Let someone else take that depreciation hit that we talked about earlier. I'm not paying. So let's talk about assets and liabilities real quick. Asset, get you money. Liabilities, take it away. So car payments, credit card debt, those are all liabilities. Assets are your house and other investments, your 401k, your IRA, they bring in money. And the fourth habit here of the wealthy habits is the debt-free housing and budgeting. Well, they budget, but they also pay off their house. Ramsey Solutions did the largest study of millionaires in the world. And they found that one of the traits of millionaires, everyday millionaires, is they paid off their house. And no, my wife and I are not there. We don't have a paid off house. That's one of our goals that we are working toward, and we are paying extra right now. But we had to start small, get our habits going, start with knowing where we are, and then we build a budget. And then we actually had to start our emergency fund, paid off debt, and then get into that. So we're going to talk about that shortly here. But if you want to talk about building generational wealth, we need to look at these habits. So to break the chaos, you need a proven framework. This is exactly the steps my wife and I took years and years ago. Personal finance isn't just math, it's behavioral. So the baby steps, if you haven't heard of the Ramsey baby steps, check them out. They have their whole YouTube channel and everything like that. And like I said, I'm a Ramsey certified financial master coach that helps people figure all this out in a one-on-one or group setting, because that's what I enjoy doing. So they're talking about the baby steps. They've helped over 10 million people get out of debt and into financial peace. So baby step number one is get the starter emergency fund of $1,000. And real quick before that, if you don't even know where you are to even say, how can I even save $1,000? Check out the Why Am I Broke solution sample. It's a quick quiz and suggestions on how to get you to this point of saving up $1,000. So check the description and the link below. Your $1,000 emergency fund is not meant to cover everything. It's meant to cover the ankle biters, the little flat tire that may come up, a minor medical bill where you can pay, oh, I need $600. Well, you have $1,000 emergency fund. So that's your big focus number one. Keeping current on all your debts and then getting that extra money to make that $1,000 yours in a savings account. By the way, in the previous video I posted is not to keep your emergency fund in your checking account. You actually want to keep it in a separate savings account. So again, this $1,000 emergency fund just gives you breathing room while you are attacking your debt. So baby step number two is the debt snowball, where you arrange your debts smallest to largest and you attack that first smallest debt with everything you've got with your money and your budget. So math, again, they talk about, oh, I should pay the highest interest rate and the highest debt off first. Well, and here we go with the coaching side of my life. You need quick wins right away. Just that first bill is only $200 and you hustle and save up and it may be done in 30 days. Maybe it's done even before that. And you're like, oh, ding, I got that win. And then you use that money that you were paying that first debt into the second debt, but you pay the smallest balance first and get the ball rolling, get those habits, get those muscles built a little bit stronger, and we can help you get there. So just like I was talking about, you build that momentum and you are paying that first debt, and then the money you use for that, and you pay the second debt and the third debt, and it gets stronger and larger. And you can attack those bigger debts like the car loan. Let's say you have $12,000 in the car loan. Well, if you're hitting $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month from paying off other debts, and you're going to have that car loan gone in a few months, and it just disappears. And the speed and the impact multiply exponentially. And you all of a sudden get this momentum, like I was paying off my car. As I got closer to the end, I felt strong enough to take that bigger leap and write that check. So wrapping things up, gaining power over your money. Can you imagine not having any debt, a zero balance? Imagine where life is not stressing you out, where you can pay for everything and then some. You are saving money, you're investing for the future. Those card payments are gone. Freedom is a choice. You can step out of this chaos and you can do it. But what I've ended a lot, checking out some of these other videos I have on some tactics here, but nothing changes if nothing changes. You can do it.